You're listening to the Holistic Spaces podcast brought to you by Mindful Design Feng Shui School, episode 156, Forecast for the Year of the Water Tiger with Tiff Lin. Welcome to episode 156 of the Holistic Spaces podcast, where we hope to inspire, educate, and empower you to create your own holistic spaces that nurture and resonate with you. Angie Cho and Laura Morris are the founders of the Mindful Design Feng Shui School. We teach Feng Shui online at mindfuldesignschool.com. Be sure to check us out and sign up for our mailing list. So this week, we are talking more about the Year of the Water Tiger. And before we get into that, we wanted to just chat a little bit about a new offering that we have called the Holistic Spaces Inner Circle. And this is going to be an online membership, a sort of virtual feng shui retreat where Laura and I guide you every month with some unique Zoom meetings and chats and explorations to dive deeper into feng shui and oracle reading, as well as floor plan readings.
Yeah. So we're going to meet 3 times a month, and each session and each time we meet, it's going to be a half an hour, little quick meetings. And Angie and I will pick a theme. And we're going to go from everything, different realms. So the 3 realms, we're going to do heaven realm, earth and humanity realms. And we're going to do divination, as Angie mentioned. So it could be a tarot reading for the community, or it could be an I Ching reading for the community. Or we would be asking you to submit floor plans or questions for the different ones. So it's going to be really fun, a community where we can come together, very accessible for everyone. And that's really what we wanted to do. So keep your eyes peeled for that. The enrollment is very short. We have a 1-week enrollment period, and then the enrollment closes. And then everyone that's in, we keep meeting, and then we'll probably open enrollment again later, but we don't know when. So be sure to get on the mailing or on the waiting list. Go to mindfuldesignschool.com and you'll see right on the homepage, click on it. It'll take you right to the wait list.
Yes. Thanks, Laura. And so Laura and I are really excited to have a very special guest with us this week. Tiff Lin is one of our graduates from the Mindful Design Feng Shui School, and they are a Chinese astrology expert. So I'm going to read Tiff's bio. Tiff Lin is a Batzi Chinese astrology and BTB Feng Shui practitioner, facilitator of healing, performance artist, community organizer based in Oakland, California. As a 3/3/5 Yang Earth Dragon, their healing path is all about finding aliveness and helping people discover and remember their inner true nature. Tiff's website is tiffanylin.co, and we'll talk more about that at the end. Tiff's going to tell us what they've been up to and new projects, and we'll have a link in the show notes. But let's first talk about these forecasts for the Year of the Water Tiger. Welcome, Tiff.
Hi, Tiff.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really excited to be here and share my knowledge and love for the animals and the elements with you all.
Yeah, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, 2022. 2022 being the young water tiger year. Feels like it's already happening as far as the tiger. I know Lunar New Year starts February 1st. I'm feeling it already coming through. How are you all doing?
Yeah, we always say that it's not like a switch goes off. You start to feel it toward,
yes,
at least in the fall, especially moving into winter, and just like the seasons, the energy starts to change. So yes, I would have to say that I am definitely feeling it. It feels very different than the ox for me.
Yeah, same. I agree. How are you noticing the shift, Tiff?
I would say for 2021, the yin metal ox, yin metal being more about refinement, the ox being slow, steady pace, which was actually why I chose to study feng shui with you all in this 2021 year of building, cultivating skills and knowledge. And right now, with the Yang Water Tiger coming into full force, already beginning to feel like the launching of new skills, new gifts, new passions are coming into play, that I'm feeling in my body, that I'm excited to be sharing more publicly, which kind of relates to that, like the Li position, 9, the fame I'm sensing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
we also talked about the energy, the action oriented energy of the tiger, and which has a lot of wood in it, which is a lot of doing, going, right? So definitely a shift for sure. And I like the way you put it, that it's like a time to start something new, all that stuff that you've been cultivating, to really let it go, let it loose, let it out of the cage.
Exactly. Yeah, the tiger is definitely being let out of the cage right now. So
So why don't you tell us, when we did talk about this with Katie, we just did one with Katie. We talked a little bit what we think when we think about the tiger, what Angie and I feel. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what it means, what overall, like, let all of us, regardless of what animal we are, what are we in for? What do you think is sort of the overall mood or energy?
sure. I guess I'll start off by sharing a bit about the Yang Water. For this is the current annual element for 2023. Yang Water is imaged as more of like a kind of a moment, a large movement of currency and exchange, you could say. It's a very entrepreneurial energy. If yin water was more like air, the mist, very shapeshifter visionary energy, then yang water is more like this large large body of water, more like the ocean, you could say. And so for 2023, what I'm feeling and really sensing in my body is this a lot of movement, a lot of exchange of ideas, commerce, maybe new ventures, new businesses opening up. And it's interesting, we can talk about how COVID, the pandemic, vaccinations, all of that has shifted us globally in our mental mindset. Perhaps this past year in 2021, in that yin metal ox of coming inwards and sensing, what are we, who are we, what are we here to do? 2023, in my sense, with yang water entrepreneurial energy is almost taking all of the inner work that we've cultivated and bringing that out, and taking risks and experimenting and creating new ideas, collaborating. There's a sense of big amount of drive to succeed and to perform. And that's also felt through the tiger energy as well, which is very young wood, the start of spring, start of new ideas. My telling is that people are going to want to feel that yang rush of coming out of their shell, and also to proceed with caution. Some signs are going to want to go all the way, and some signs I'm sensing that it's best to also be slow and to be deliberate in action, and not to be overswayed by that large collective energy of movement.
Yeah, to try not to get caught up in it too much.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because we were saying, whenever I think of tiger energy, and you've got the water feeding the tiger, right? Because it's got that wood in it. So it's very powerful. It is a really bold energy and almost boisterous, but it still has a lot of beauty in it. So I think as a rat, because I'm a rat, and we're going to go into each of the animals in a sec. As a rat, I think I can work with that kind of energy. Rats are pretty resourceful and pretty wily, but I'm leaving my best friend last year, right? The ox. So, which was really comfortable. So it feels different. I think I'm really looking at trying to embrace it, to, as you said, start something new. And I know Angie and I have been talking a lot about that. And it's actually interesting, like this whole idea of us starting this new program, the Inner Circle, it really started to come right around when the energy shifted. We just had this feeling that just to like, let's do something we haven't done yet. So yeah, new, different, fresh. And also, of course, there's, as you said, you can do too much. Some signs will have a tendency to maybe be a little extra about it.
Right. Right.
Angie, should we go into the animals? Do you want to go into each of the animals, and then Tiff we can kind of riff back and forth, and we can talk about what
because
I want to hear her take. Yeah.
Laura really wants to hear about what's going to happen to the rat.
Yeah, I do. Well, that's the first animal. I want to hear what you think, because I'm curious. I'm a rat. Okay, well, why don't we just start? Are you okay with that, Tiff? Are you good with starting the animals? Or do you want to, is there something else we want to go through in terms of overarching things that people need to know?
Yeah, overall, just 2023 is going to go by real fast, and you're going to want to do your best to just savor each moment and to find good support and community. Yeah, to get you through these
in
moments.
2022. Yeah.
2020. Have I been saying 2023?
I think you might have said it once. You said it. I think you might have said
I'm
it
already propelling years.
That's how fast it's going to move, by the way. 2022 is going to move so fast. Exactly. It's going to throw us into 2023. So, but no, I knew what you were talking about. I got it.
Thank you.
So yeah. Okay. So we've got that sense, and now we'll kind of go back and forth, and let's just start. I'm just going to start with the rat, because he's, they're the first little guy. What are your thoughts and what are your feelings on what I need to know about as a rat for this year?
So can I say something first before we go into the annual
100%
go by go?
Yes.
As far as me being a practitioner and doing just general forecasts, bots is being known as the 8 characters. I think it's important to know and for everyone to hear that the zodiac sign, as in the year that you're born, is only 1/8 of an entire reading. So please, as far as what I'm saying, if it doesn't resonate, just understand that you have 3 other animals in your chart that you may or may not know, as well as the 10-year look cycles, your elemental phases. Your day master, which determines so much of your personality and intuition, to also look at. But overall, we can gauge a lot about your zodiac sign. For most people in this world, they at least know that the year of the animal you were born in. So let's go off of that.
No, that's good. We do that too. We call it our this is just fun disclaimer, so that people don't get too freaked out or think that we always bring this up, that and not only do you have 4 other pillars, and as you said, 8 different elements, because each of those pillars has also the elements, the animal and the element. But we also have so many other parts of our lives that contribute to this, in terms of the factors in life. That's why we have feng shui. That's why we work hard. That's why we go to school. That's why we take care of ourselves. So we're talking about the heaven realm. We're talking about things in the cosmos, things that we can't change, right? Because it's, sort of there, predetermined, but it's a factor. It's one factor of many. So yes, it's good to do that so that people don't get too hung up on it. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the disclaimer.
Yeah. And also, Tiff, thanks for bringing that up, because it's a good reminder. And Laura and I we're always talking about this. So there's really, we're in an interesting time where information is available to us, but wisdom is not necessarily available so freely, right? Because wisdom needs to be cultivated. And so we offer this podcast and we offer this introduction from Tiff to really show that there's something more than what you assume, beyond like a whatever experience you may have from growing up with the Chinese zodiac. But it goes even deeper and deeper. And same with feng shui. Like we may say, oh, red is a great color for this, but Tiff knows now, going through our program, that's just one, that's like the first onion layer, right? And after many tears later, you learn you still keep peeling the onion. So there's so many layers, and that's the beauty of most things in life, and most of these ancient wisdoms, that there's much more to learn. And so it would be a shame if people thought that this was all there is, but this is a great introduction, and we're very grateful for you to share it with us.
Thank you. All right, let's get into it. Rat. So as you may know, rat's native stem is actually yang water. And actually, it's one of the bisexual animals, energetically bisexual. It could be yang outside, yin in the inside. And what we're going off of for the tiger year is its native stem is yang wood. And as we know, water supports wood. So for rat, actually, this year is going to be one of a lot of change for you physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Yeah, I feel for the rat and tiger compatibility that, especially as rat is known to be cunning, also very entrepreneurial, very meticulous, shrewd. There's a way where communication is going to be really important for you to hear and speak your words and be sincere in it, and to make sure that you don't speak too hastily in such a way that it could be misinterpreted or misunderstood for your relationships.
Yeah, Laura, you have to be careful how you talk to me. I'm just kidding.
No, that's good. Yeah, being more. I don't know if rats are considered particularly thoughtful, but that is because, and then that's probably why you're saying it. And I feel, would you say that this is one of the animals that could get caught up in the tiger energy?
Oh, I think there is a element within rat that does get caught up with, like, just internal competition. So it's almost wanting to strategize to get ahead, which is one of the reasons why it's number one on that, the race, which determined the position in the zodiac cycle. And so there's this sense of needing to not get swayed by competition or pressure, and needing to really be more deliberate with what your intention is. Yeah, and also for tigers, and we can get into that when we talk about tiger. There's competition within tigers too. So yeah, this year it's also about watching your back, and even if it's someone who isn't supposedly your enemy, but even a friend who might get caught up in some jealousy, some shadow behavior. Yeah, it's good to communicate to the T, over communicate even. Good. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's move on to the next one. Ox.
Okay. So ox characteristics are known to be hardworking, resilient, patient. It's really about cultivating inner spirituality and inner gifts. And there's almost, I feel like tilling the soil, right? Paving the way for sustainable future outcomes. And so yin earth is its native element. That being said, ox and tiger are very compatible. Yeah, yin earth has that attractive relationship with the yang wood of the tiger. And even within water, for the water element represents ox's money. So when an ox meets tiger, you really have that money fortune coming through. So career for oxes will be smooth, and as well as like finding mentorship. Yeah, mentorship and romantic relationships will come pretty smoothly for the oxes this year. And my sense is that oxes will continue to work hard towards its goals. And they already have that instilled, like, small step. You know, they're not big on risk taking by nature. If you picture an ox moving, they're not one to leap or to jump. But with that said, that tiger entrepreneurial energy coming in full force may have it vision more than just what's the next step for me. And that's something that would be great to attract the beneficiaries in your life, to attract visionaries in your life, so that both the ox and the tiger and any of the allies can support it towards its goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So you're saying in a way that, ox gets the benefit of tiger's boldness, leaping.
Yes.
And I mean, they're steady, they're hardworking, and they're not best friends, but they get along well enough for the ox to really benefit from that energy. That's what I'm getting. Right.
Totally.
Okay.
Mhm. They're not going to be totally swayed off course.
Right.
They can
Because of their
ride off
nature.
tiger's
Yeah.
charm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, next is tiger. So
Yeah.
what I know you were touching on it. And we, just so you know, Angie and I always, and I mean, with this program, it's not always a positive to be in the same year as your native animal, like as your main animal, just because of the Taoist ideas and about sharing the spotlight, basically, right, with whoever's on the seat that year. So there's a little bit of jealousy in terms of the energy. But what would you say overall, tigers, what's the year look like for them?
Yeah. Tiger energy, I always relate it to, Winnie the Pooh, the Tigger. He has a specific song about there can only be one. So yeah, tigers being in the Grand Duke position of the year, there is that sense of the spotlight is now on you. It kind of reminds me of the 5 energy, of all of the energies coming forth, and it's your time to shine. It's your time for you to be recognized in your career, and your colleagues, your bosses, your family around you, to recognize your efficiency, your passion, and you can really just let that out. And then, yeah, that jealousy could come through in different ways, especially if you're around other tigers who are like, this is my year, But overall, it's a great year to also, as the tigers are in the house of development in spring, to accumulate new skills, to study something new that will only level you up in your career and your personal life. Yeah, to stay humble to that as well.
I think that's good, to keep perspective and to not try to get too cocky, because a lot of I think that's part of is, yes, it's your year, but you need to be humble about it, because you're sharing it with the Grand Duke, as you said. And that's why we always say, when it is, if like you're a rat in a rat year, or tiger in a tiger year, et cetera, and so forth, you would do the golden cicada to protect yourself, to prepare, so that it's even smoother and even better.
Right.
Yes. And what after the tiger is the rabbit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the rabbit exists with the tiger in the house of development. They share the same wood house. I think it's important to say, like, the tiger is like aggressive, almost like the apex predator. It will conquer for its goals. Shadow side, it may do things that will harm people subconsciously. The rabbit, and that's 2023 actually, is almost the diplomat. They are the yin wood. So they're not going to do anything if it doesn't they're not the type to overstep, or they're not the type to do more than they can chew. They're like, I'm gonna do the bare minimum and go home and rest in my blanket and like call it a day, because that's myself. My inner motivation is self-preservation and getting the basic desires met. It's almost like 2022, a lot will happen. In 2023, things will fall easefully. And so with that said, yeah, this year you're going to meet the right people and get the help that you need. And it's almost that like sibling relationship, being tiger and rabbit being in the same wood cycle. So there's not much conflict. There shouldn't be too many disputes you'll have with people. It's a relatively chill year for rabbit. It's almost like rabbit's just looking at what tiger is doing. They might have the same goals, but not the same process, or the how.
Yeah, they're wired very differently. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
Next
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Go, Angie.
Oh, I just want to say also, Laura brought up this visual of like a rabbit next to a tiger, right? How that's so like they're so different, and it may be a little bit very intimidating for a rabbit to be faced with the energy of the tiger year.
Mm.
And I always think of rabbits are really good at they go along to get along. They do what they have to do to and they don't like to rock. They're more conservative. They don't want to rock the boat, but they're very good at it. They have to. They're tiny and they're cute and adorable and everyone wants to eat them. So they have to be smart. Okay. Next, dragon. Totally different than a rabbit. That's for sure.
Yeah. And Tiff and I are both dragon.
Yeah.
Different energy. So let us know a little bit now from your, because it's your animal. Yeah.
I want to know what we should do, Tiff. what can we expect?
Totally. Well, tiger and dragons are known to be like in a very invincible, like you could call it the royal pair, right? You can see temples where dragons and tigers are together, or in like a yin yang shape. So with that said, they're almost like best friends energy in my opinion. Of they might have a lot of disputes internally of process of how things should become or how things should happen, but once they communicate about it, it's like the past is the past and let's just move forward. And so there's this movement forward, this growth mentality, this let's transform all of our indifferences and have a really great year, right? So with that said, the dragon is the manifester, and this is the year to exercise our full potential in that. We'll be rewarded in taking risks. But with that said, and this is another characteristic of tiger, being motivated by external validation, needing to be in the center of attention. This year, there might be instances where dragons are going to have to be their own cheerleader. So they have to carry their own momentum forward. They can't keep relying on the same, they can't be relying on external validation all of the time. It's almost like, what are the practices dragons need to keep the energy going and flowing, to stay grounded in? And yeah, it's also a lot of dragons. It'd be great advice to heed is to not to react, but to contemplate further and to gain a better judgment as far as what decision to make. This could look like a career move, for example. So weighing the pros and cons, and then knowing that a lot of energy, a lot of opportunities are coming forth, and it's just about listening to what is the right one. Yeah.
Did you catch all that, Angie?
Yeah. And I want to know, Tiff, like, what does that, how does that look like it's going to play out for you?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different facets as far as art, um, artistry, healing, and then Chinese astrology. I'm still sitting with it, to be honest. Yeah, and to know that dragons, there's no one way. There's a lot of different possibilities. I mean, dragons are visionary in that way of being an example for people to see how you can live a life, how you can trailblaze your own life and create new possibilities. So it might just be me just claiming my own power of feeling like I can do anything if I put all of that discipline and groundedness uh, as my foundation. Yeah. How about you, Anne?
Well, I'm thinking about how you said, um, finding other ways to be supported, like that maybe
Yeah.
things were typically done, like you said, external validation, that maybe things were done in a particular way that was relied upon. And then this year is a challenge to look at, how do I do it differently, or how do I bring it in from my own, from myself, with this self, like this feeling of the self-reliance that the tiger brings on.
Right.
Because a dragon is also self-reliant, but it's also, the dragon is a little bit more revered and it's in the sky versus the tiger that's
Mhm.
on the ground. The
Sure.
tiger is always touching the earth and well grounded and
Yeah.
connected to that gravity.
Yeah. Really, really good point.
Yeah. Okay, let's try Snake, the little dragon.
Yeah. So snake is yin fire energy. Um, wood supports fire. You could say that the tiger and snake both need to support each other. Tiger, in that sense, can be snake's benefactor. This year will also be a time where snakes can gain opportunities and increase in their wealth and career. There are also auxiliary stars present within snake that represent solitude, like the solitary star, for example. So it's important for snakes to, um, even though the snake in itself is a very introverted spirit, needing to, almost go inward to recoup. Um, it's also really important to head out and socialize, and work-life balance is really important too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
we gotta tell Katie that.
Yeah, that was, yeah, because it's not a great relationship between the two of them, but your spin is much nicer. I like that. And I think that I always see snakes as being very, very smart and wise, and you know
Yes.
and quieter, as you said, that quiet energy. And they just need to not try to get bothered by it, like as you said. It just, I think, and they do go inside, which might be a little tougher to do during this kind of a year, this dynamic year. Okay, next is horse.
Horse, this is horse's year for fame, for vitality and energy. Horse is that young fire, which is that blazing sun. And horses are also known for being like these, um, a representation of freedom, needing a lot of space to keep going in pursuit for freedom. So the tiger energy actually helps the horse run faster. Yeah, horses will find that they'll have some sense of more energy and more motivation to accomplish their goals. So there will be rapid growth for horses for this year. Yeah, if tigers and horses can get along, they can become a really great dynamic duo as well.
I love that the tiger can help the horse run faster or go
Yeah.
faster. It's a really, like, I mean, you could just visualize both of them like
Mhm,
just flying, but on the ground still.
mhm. Yeah, another thing to add is horses, the triangle of affinity. It goes tiger, horse, and dog. So yeah, it's a great year for horses, dogs.
Okay, let's move on to the ram.
yeah, the ram or the goat, the sheep. This will actually be a really great year for goats in terms of relationship. Um, the goat in itself is the most relational animal of all of the 12 zodiac animals. It's also number 8 in that lineup. So abundance is really is the sign for goats. People just want to almost provide and nourish the goat just because it resembles and embodies a sense of compassion. So this year it'll be even more so. The stars that align with the goat spirit will come alive with you for benefactors relationships. If you are single, this will be a great year for you to start dating and to meet someone compatible for you.
That's good.
Okay,
Good
good
for 'em.
news for
Yeah.
the Rams. I have
For the
a
Rams.
really good friend who's single. That's a Ram, actually 2.
Oh,
So
good.
they'll like that news. Yeah, they've been looking for partners for a while. Well, one has been looking for a partner for quite some time. Okay, let's move on
So
to
the next one is monkey. Yes. Little monkeys.
Monkey. Yeah, so monkey, there's a clash between tigers and monkey. So they're enemies, so to speak. But honestly, in my interpretation, the monkey teaches the tiger teaches the monkey. Change will happen. If this is you maybe potentially losing your career, that'll actually maybe manifest you into finding a better role with better pay, something along those lines. So like disruption energy coming through for monkeys. And yeah, disruption and change can totally be a good thing. Yeah.
I like your perspective.
So,
That's a good, I like that.
yeah.
It's a nice spin on it. Yeah. And, you know, we also, this is one where you could do the golden cicada as well from a feng shui standpoint. You know, if you felt, it also just brings nice, just a peace, and you can just, you know, kind of go in to the year feeling really positive. And I like
Exactly.
your take on it. That's, I think, again, do not, there's so many levels to this practice that we're just looking at a little tiny bit. And so, you know, see the positives in it.
Exactly. So rooster.
Yeah, rooster.
Yeah, rooster is yin metal. So if we're going by the tiger yang wood metal, you could say wood or yeah, the wood of the tiger represents your money. So if rooster is someone that actually works really, really hard in their career, if they continue to work hard, you'll earn more money and more income. And yeah, there's plenty of opportunities for you to increase your network of clients and beneficiaries and just community as a rooster, almost known as like the master of ceremony, bringing people together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Roosters are definitely masters of ceremony.
Mm,
They're like peacocks, very dramatic and very showy. Okay,
Dog.
dogs.
Yeah. Dogs.
yeah, so a dog again, triangle of affinity. This will be a great year again for your benefactors to come. And specifically, there's an auxiliary star, which represents the star of arts. Really great year to tap into your creative artistry. So don't be afraid to start to pursue a new hobby or to see how you can translate a hobby into a career.
Yeah, dogs have it. Dogs are going to be in harmony with the energy. So it's a good year to, how nice. It's a good year to work with your artistry. That's so beautiful. We should also hang out with more dogs and more pigs, right?
Yeah.
Because pig is in best relationship with the tiger.
Yeah, they're the secret friends. So last but not least, yeah, the tiger has an attractive relationship with the pig. And this will be a really great year to just make really, really memorable, happy memories. The pig is, yeah, the pig is here as an example for us all to be hyper present with what we have. And they really appreciate like the simple, mundane pleasures of daily living. So it's great that tiger and pig are secret friends, because a lot of, again, benefactors, a lot of new relationships, pigs will gain new wisdom by meeting and learning from helpful people will come through this year.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what could be another meaning or metaphor behind like that, if that secret friendship between the pig and the tiger, because there's like stories about all of them, but I don't know the one about that pair. Do you know, Tiff?
Specifically the pig and the tiger. Yeah, I don't know any specific fable or story, but what I can just intuit is the pig being hyper present and just super loyal to family, and also being at the end of the 12 animal cycle. So it rules death and burial. And then the tiger represents almost like something new, the start of something new, that wood energy. So there's a lot to be said around those cycles in itself, just playing with each other and learning from each other.
Mm.
Mhm.
Pigs are fun loving too. Like they appreciate, you just said, they appreciate the simple things in life. And I sometimes see them like kind of liking that energy of the tiger, like really enjoying that energy, and not finding it frustrating like some of the other animals might that aren't wired that way. I just feel like
Right.
pigs are just, they look at the tiger and they're like, you know what, that guy looks like he's a fun time, and they just want to hang out with them. My husband is a pig, and that sounds really funny saying that, but he's a pig. So I keep telling him it's going to be a good year for
Yeah.
you. And he is absolutely, the way you described that is such a perfect way to describe pigs,
Yeah.
that they are so good at really appreciating the simple things and the mundane things. Like that is him to a T. Like he doesn't want like fancy crazy, that he's just so happy to just do, really, like that's where he gets his joy.
Mhm.
So it's good. We did
Mm.
it.
Yeah, we did it. We
All
went through all
12
the
animals.
animals.
Yay. Good
So,
work. Good work, Tiff.
um, before you tell us more about what's going on with you, what if we, how could we summarize like
Yeah.
what we can all collectively uh, look forward to and appreciate and value, and thinking about like we left it on the pig and enjoying the simple things, like what's a good reminder for us as we welcome the year of the water tiger?
Yeah, I would say with the pig, of being present to each moment and savoring each moment, and knowing that the energy of the tiger will accelerate growth and change. Always be grateful for what you have. Know that more will come, and the timing, the pacing, the blossoming, the opening, the receiving will come in due time. Don't get swept away necessarily. Just savor what it is so that you can better listen and plan ahead. Planning is important. Taking risks will happen, but planning
Mm,
will actually help accelerate your growth for all animals.
thank you for that. It's a really great reminder and a great way to start out our intentions for this new lunar year. Um, thank you for that. So thank you so much, Tiff. And could you tell us like what's going on with you? What are your new projects?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So I've been in this past year been doing the Batsa readings. There are 90-minute reading sessions just to go over your chart. So as you said, there's actually 4 pillars. Um, this is kind of like a brief, very, very brief, 1/8 of it. It's been so great just to see how people who are in transition, as we all are, and wanting to know why we're here and what we can do to contribute to this world. Them finding bots, or even me feeling that there could be so much healing that can be done when you can embody your actual purpose and the archetypes that live within you through animals, through elements, and all of the relationships in between. So I'm doing that, and I'm wanting to pivot to be more of like a coaching package. I've embodiment and authentic relating, intimacy training as well, coaching background. So that's one pillar, is if anyone wants to be more, wants to have a bigger, wider container to experiment and to grow and to learn your authentic alignment and your true nature and your true self. Please give me a call. We can have a 30-minute exploratory. That's one facet. Another is just wanting to share more about bots and yeah, just my love for the animals in a workshop setting. Definitely, I would love to talk to you too about that, just offering that within the Mindful Design School students and alumni included. Third thing is I am really excited about just writing love letters to each of the animals, feeling and sensing all of them in all of us, and how that could be a really great offering for people who want to get into the new year with affirmations, with words of encouragement, knowing that we are the way we are for a reason, and to follow it, and to not be alarmed when, capitalism or the patriarchy are telling us otherwise. The animal's instinct is within us, and I'm excited to write about that. So that could either be on my blog or on my Instagram. So stay tuned to that. Okay, thank you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And could you tell the listeners where they can find you on your website?
Yes.
And your Instagram? Can you share?
Yeah, my website is at www.tiffanyLin, TIFFANYLIN.co. And my Instagram is at TiffRexRay. That's TIFFREXREI.
Yeah, and we'll put links to those to the Instagram and to the website in the show notes. And I highly recommend that if this introduction to looking at animal, like your zodiac animal, does pique your interest, it's definitely something that you will learn so much more, because this is just like literally scratching the surface, and really working with an expert about the expert is important if you want to hear the whole story. So we're so grateful for your wisdom and for taking the time to share this with us, Tiff.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Holistic Spaces podcast. You can tune in every Monday for a new podcast episode. If you like our podcast and this episode, please share it with others. You can subscribe or even leave a review. You can support the podcast by checking out our certification and mini courses at mindfuldesignschool.com. We have a new offering called the Inner Circle that will be open for enrollment at select times every year. So we have our first enrollment open the first week of February. So we hope that you we'll see you there. And if you'd like to explore the world of holistic spaces and feng shui on an even deeper level, you can visit our website, online store, blog for more information about feng shui and holistic living. Visit us at mindfuldesignschool.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.